Okay, so it's 5:40 on Wednesday. Man, I've been kicking my ass out in this garden. Ugh. Carrying these big things of dirt. Some of the bags are 50 pounds. Some of them are big, giant pots with dirt. And I was like, oh no, oh no. And I was thinking, well, it's going to probably take both of us. But I'm doing them, moving those, then doing the weed eater, raking. Raking is good exercise. Like if you're really raking something, fuck, man. It's like shoveling, kind of. Shoveling is such good exercise. Dang. Go out and try and dig a hole, and you'll find out. And it's so funny because it's like that's basic stuff from back, like pioneer kind of people. And we're a bunch of weak asses. Yeah, oh, well, do it smarter. Go get a backhoe and it'll dig the hole for you. But, people used to have to chop down the trees to make their house. And I think it made them stronger. Like, we are pretty weak. And I think that our weakness, we like know it inside. It's like that's what the dependency is built on, because people don't know that they can do anything. And when they try and do something, it's like, oh no, it's way too hard. It's like, but the people before us could do it. Like, are we getting better? Or are we getting worse here? What's going on? So anyways, but this is the transformation. This is where we see, because some people will want to go more towards, do it smarter. Just it's more of a tech kind of the science dependency or something. But the majority of people are going to go towards sovereignty, towards independence, towards I'm going to go out and dig a hole and start learning that how strong they really are and how capable they really are, and they don't need all this bullshit. So that's the cool part. That's the transformation. And I was just talking about this again yesterday after because I just got up at 5, so you can see it's light outside. That and it's 5:40 now, and I'm still kind of out of it. Because I've been out of it all night. And a weird thing with the moon, it's like almost full, and it was just took its time last night. It was out 2 hours before dark, and then it was slowly, I don't know, could have gone around in circles, but it was over there, and it was so low to the ground and so bright, but it was totally in the wrong place where it usually goes down. So I don't know, it's the shenanigans, but I try and pay attention to the moon cycle and how I feel like when I'm sleeping and stuff. And I'm super stopped up, but that could be because being outside and messing with all of the dirt and stuff, but is like my nose is really stopped up, and it's a little boogery, like it's not even snotty, really. I don't even need to have the handkerchief all the time anymore, but it's definitely stopped up. And but still I'm not coughing. And even if I choke on something or whatever, and the cough is so dry, it almost hurts. It's like, geez, it's so weird after years. But anyways, I just got up, so I just read the comments. And so something Crystal had said was something I had talked about, so I had another story about that right after I said that, and then my nose is tickling. So I do need a handkerchief, but it could be the bug bots. I swear to God, we're under attack by bug bots. And I think they're microscopic, because I swear to God, there's things that are biting me all the time, and I can't find anything. So, anyways, so I just read those comments, and there was something I had wanted to talk about more about that, because I said it reminded me when I read her thing. I have a conversation yesterday, and then Amy had sent me some TikToks, and so there was some stuff on there I wanted to talk about. So and I don't know, every single time, like there's so many things, there's so much stuff going on, there's so many things you could talk about and stuff, so there's just a lot going on. And there can be a lot going on right in your general community that not everybody even knows about. So, I mean, they pick and choose what they want us to worry about. So, anyways, and there's so much corruption being exposed, so many people being arrested and shit. So the it's just a big game. It's just a big fucking game. But you gotta, it's like you gotta start playing it different. It's like all these people are not good at playing the game. You're not good at playing the game when you're under their mind control. When you pull free of their mind control, then you can play the game differently. So they've got a lot of people playing the game the way they want it played. So, anyways, the the one conversation was about somebody who is just being totally attacked by their mom. Just like, my mom is sitting there telling me the stuff she's saying to the person, and is horrible, 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 horrible stuff. It is just heartbreaking. It's so heartbreaking, especially when you know the person is being said to, and they're nothing like this person is sitting there saying, and it's breaking this person's heart, because it's their mom. And so they're getting crushed, which, this thumb crushing has been going, their entire life. This isn't something that just popped up out of the blue. It's when a controlling mom loses control, she goes in hard, man. And so she has been hard on him for so fucking long. But there was just a crisis in the family, which he keeps getting cut off. I don't even know all of the different stuff, but this mom just keeps pushing him out and blaming him and telling him, she sits there telling him he's crazy. She's going to try and take his kids away from him and stuff. This guy is the nicest guy you can, a good dad. Like, he's like the dream guy. Most girls are like, God, I want a husband like that. And it's the craziest thing. But I guess maybe, she wants her husband or her son to be more of a dick like she is. So he's a real loser. I don't know. You just don't know what people are projecting. And so, anyways, he is, really feeling horrible and is really feeling beat down and put down. And so my mom's telling me, how horrible, how can a mom say this stuff? And I told her some of the TikTok ones I've seen of like this stuff is going on all over the place. And it's shocking. It is shocking how just some moms are so cruel. It's like, geez, man. But whatever their cruelty is, it's coming from their darkness. And their darkness is from some kind of pain, trauma, suffering, something that they're holding on to. And so then it's projected out into the world, but it's their issue. And the thing is we go along for so long trying to form ourselves around other people's issues. That's the pleasant part about waking into your power, into your sovereignty and stuff. You start realizing, like, that person's got issues. What am I trying to make sure that I'm pleasing them? Like, they're not pleasable. How much energy, how much time can I put into this? And so, you start getting your own boundaries. You start believing in yourself. You start doing like digging holes and seeing like, fuck, man, I can dig a goddamn hole. I'm pretty fucking, everybody else can't dig a hole. So you start feeling good about yourself for the things that you can do, what makes you stand out to you. And you start feeling more positive about yourself. And the more you value yourself, the more, you have to tell the people who don't value, I don't have time for you. I've got other things to do. I don't need to, go through your trauma with you. And that's where, as we put up boundaries, it forces these other people who keep spilling all of their trauma out on us. It forces them to have to take it in on themselves and look at their own shit. And it's like, as long as you just keep taking it and see where this is micro macro, because this is what we're going through with the government. As long as we keep taking it, they'll keep giving it. And it was when we put a wall up and say, I'm not doing that anymore. That's when the pushback starts to happen. And that's when, well, in this, the empire is going to crumble. But in the relationships, yeah, that persona will have to crumble because they're going to have to fall and break and build themselves back up. But they have to look at themselves. But it's not like you can't tell somebody, you've got this wrong, you've got that wrong. Just, I've even tried to do it before in a nice way, and you just can't. People have to see it for themselves. Like when I was broken and people were trying to tell me what was broken about me and I couldn't see it, just as like another person just fucking attacking you. So you're just in a dark kind of place. And so once you see it though, but the way that we can see it is in a gentle way. When people keep putting up these boundaries, then you start to, it's like you become caged in. The mirrors just keep being there and you can't get away from it. And some people will just like, well, fuck you, and they'll go into another one. And just like in that John Ritter movie where he was abusive, and then when his wife had cut him off, because when he had left, and when he'd have a bad day, he'd call her, start fucking ragging on her and shit. And she just said, I was like done at some point. And that caused him to go home and beat up the other one. He could be nice to that one when this one was letting him walk all over. And then when that one said no more, then it would humble down to the next one. And then she was one who put up the roadblock. No, get the fuck out of my life. And if you don't go to treatment, I'm pressing charges. And the DA had said they were going to do attempted murder because it was so violent. And so anyways, but that's the way it goes, They just will stumble back to the next one. If that one continues to let them abuse them, then they will continue their same behavior. If that one stands up for themselves, and it could be, in a family like this person does, so this person has awareness of it. So when this person starts having boundaries, then this person, to a dad who's real scary. And then, so as the kids age, they kind of crumble, oh, here he comes, you just never know. And so they're kind of agree with everything he says because they don't want to push him into his violent temper. And so, but then he'll, be pushed on his controlling part of him. And then, so if one kid starts standing up, then the other one starts seeing, oh, the world didn't end. Look, it worked. And then they do. So it gives this person less places for their stuff to eventually they have to look at themselves and go like, maybe I do have a violent streak. Maybe I do have a controlling streak. Maybe I am too angry, and have to get control of their own emotions. And what was that one? Oh yeah, okay, because that was part of the same thing. Because somebody was talking about having OCD and how it's harder to because you ruminate, you keep going over and over and over and over, but any of those disorders, any of those, you can get a handle on. Like the biggest thing is once you have the awareness of it, and then say an OCD, then you have to learn to self-talk. You have to do affirmations. You have to pull yourself out with logic. You can't just keep ruminating. You have to start looking at things in a deeper way and start catching yourself and think, okay, I'm thinking about this too much. Okay, I gotta let go. What is done is done. I've done my best, whatever it is. And that's where you have to set up your little affirmation and tell yourself, like, it's okay, it's okay. And every time it creeps back in, because that's the dark energy, will keep throwing it at you and throwing it at you. And every time it creeps in, then you have to say, use your affirmation to confirm to yourself or remind yourself that it's fine, let go of it. There's nothing more you can do. Thinking about it 200,000 times a day is not going to help it. So, but that is all a part of you growing and all a part of the transformation of self, of this getting a handle on your emotions, getting a handle on your perspective, because you can dive and sink in through somebody else's, like this kind of thing. It can take you down, but this is also the kind of thing where you can champion yourself. So, and I was talking about this too, and there was confirmation in this situation, but I was like, and if you, because your soul wants you to handle it, you're here to go to overcome these obstacles. Hold on, I gotta get a drink. My throat's dry. And you're here to overcome these obstacles. So the your soul, like this is kind of like your assignment. And so your soul is going to keep pushing you and pushing you in the direction, like I was saying, that can be uncomfortable if you are resistant. And so, then like in this realm, they give you alcohol, drama, there's all sorts of distractions. So you can put yourself aside and just distract yourself. You can go get drunk and talk about the game. You can there's an assortment of things to keep you off from focusing on you. And you have to put the focus on you to let go of things. And so something happens, and then somebody just goes and distracts themselves. See, they're not dealing with it. And when you don't deal with it, it's going to get worse and worse and worse and worse until you start doing what you came here to do. So it's going to keep pushing you and pushing you and pushing you. It starts out as a gentle, but it ends up being like it starts shoving you. I mean, like mine, there was a lot that happened to me so fast in that period of time with my health and stuff when my life turned directions. And so, and I just was curious in a comment that Crystal said, and I was just curious all of a sudden. I was like, I wonder how many people do live from a brain herniation. I know when I was a nurse, it was like, fuck, if you get a patient has brain herniation, you're fucking, just forget about it. They're going to die. And there was one that happened on our floor when I was there. There could have been other ones, but when I was there was, I think she was a new nurse, and her person came back from getting a spinal, because there were spinals getting done all the time. And she'd come back, and whatever it was, I don't remember if she was letting her get up and walk around or something. Something happened. There was something that the nurse didn't do right or something, because there was a lot of whispering and blaming and stuff going on, and I didn't know all this stuff. And it was months later when I heard him go up and say, you got to go change your chart notes. And I was like, fuck, that corrupt shit. Who knew that years later I was going to end up in court with the same fucking corrupt bitches that I already knew, that they were corrupt as fuck. So but I just remember it became an emergency on our floor. Everybody was like scrambling, and they were coming and taking her down to ICU. And all the thing was like, I don't know if she's going to make it. I don't know if she's going to make it, or she's having a herniation. And so, anyways, here I am sitting up in a hospital bed having a herniation, sitting up and rocking back and forth, trying to hold my brain from fucking sucking out the back of my head. But I had no idea what I was doing. And when I was saying, my face is whistling, I had no idea I was sucking my eyes out the back of my fucking head. So the pressure system was like sucking. And so, and there was a hole in it. So it's like sucking down. So my brain, everything is trying to suck out from up here into this little hole down here. So, anyways, it was like kind of lumping brain herniation and aneurysms in together, I think. I don't know for sure if Siri understood or whatever. But anyways, on the thing, it said even the people who live from it, they end up having dying sooner. Like it's usually it's like 65 to 35%, 35 to 60% of the people who live die within a few years of some other thing with their brain. So, and I did know somebody who lived from an aneurysm, because that's not, I mean, most people die from an aneurysm too. But, my sister, my stepsister, she lived from brain anoxia from hanging. Like, she was dead 20 minutes, I think. So, anyways, miracles, it's not just one set thing. It's what you're here to experience. So, it can be quite an assortment of things. And in that thing, I had 2 hysterectomies in 1 year, brain injury. My whole life was falling apart. Their treatments gave me colitis. I had Hep C somewhere in there. Like, I was fucking sick as shit. I was like a mess for years. So, uh, whatever I was going to say about that. I think it was just the stat thing, because when I went to look it up, because when we were talking about it, it made me think, like, I wonder how many people, because I always think, like, when I would see that the surgeon, and I would be over in this other building, I ran into him a few times, and he would always look, because before my surgery, he would always be so friendly and talking to me, and then after, he would always look at me like, I don't know, he would just look at me. And I don't know. Now I think, like, was he looking at me like, fuck, dude, that was a fucking, like, miracle. She could die, like, it was running through his head, like, what he would have, but the hospital's gonna cover him, because it's fucking corrupt as a motherfucker. So, but I've seen the corruption from a lot of different angles. So, yeah, it's fucking bullshit. But anyways, on the thing about the kid, so the kid who's being beat down by the mom, and then it goes on and on and on, and gets worse and worse and worse, and then the kid doesn't, it's still, every time the beat down occurs, it just takes him down. And even if it's like a little bit gets better each time, don't forget I said, when you're going through your healing, you can, have some interaction. You think, fuck, man, I'm doing so good. I feel so healed. And then here comes the test. And the test will always bring you to the, like, oh, fuck, man. And so the test is the test. And sometimes you fail the test. Sometimes you see, like, your holes, your weaknesses from the test. And so then you don't have to worry about that, though, because another test will come in. You'll keep getting them and getting them and getting them. They're always there for you. You have these transit or these interactions to help you work on what you came here to work on. And so you will always have the test will come back in, and it will come in harder and stronger. Like I said, like, it gets stormier and stormier the more you distract yourself and won't deal with it. And so it'll get harder and harder until you get to the point where it is that you came here to accomplish. And so in this one, he's married and has kids and stuff, and the wife is, concerned, because he's really beat down by this one. He's really, really sad. He's really down and stuff. And so I said that you got to give the person space when they're in that is the time they need. And I said, even if they're isolating, they need that, because when you're in isolation and you're down, that is when you start getting your messages. And you got to, like, if you're a spouse, you have to pay attention and see, like, if they're getting too dark, because how much dark energy comes in, they can beat them down and beat them down. So you don't want somebody to get stuck in their darkness. If it seems like they're getting really stuck in their darkness, that's when I say, turn on some happy music, start dancing, start cooking some stuff that smells really good, cook some cookies, those kinds of things that stimulate these certain programming in us, comfort food, things that make you feel good. Start cooking, like, their favorite food or something, but something that has a lot of fragrance. And then things that just make you happy. Just think about that. Dancing, singing along. Put on a station that has a lot of songs that you sing along to. Elton John, like, there's certain songs that everybody in the bar starts singing. So something like that. Just whatever, because some people aren't comfortable dancing, but you should get to the point of dancing, feeling the music. It's not about dancing and entertaining people. It's about feeling the music. It's like letting the music go through your body and letting your body move to the music. And that's why it's dance like nobody's looking. It's because it's nobody's business, man. It's like you're feeling it. You're feeling your groove. So feel your groove and move to the music. Don't get caught up in what other people are thinking, because they're uptight. That's the same thing as like we're worrying about what they're thinking. Look how uptight they are. They can't even come out here and move to the music, man. So don't, but when you do that kind of stuff and somebody's down, they may still go in and just like, just shut up. But, just keep a happy kind of environment around, kind of help keep the dark energy from just overtaking the person, but give them space to reflect, give them space to converse with their higher self, even if they don't know who it is. Their soul is going to be like a woodpecker in there, and they're going to have to think. So when you're down and depressed, it's a good time for reflection. It's a natural response for the body to have to go through, to contemplate, to let go, to release, to think about what's going on. And so you don't want to hinder or stop somebody's process, like, well, you got to do this. There's already enough interference. You got to get to work. You got to get to this. You got to go there. And so don't add on to it thinking, oh, I just got to not let them be sad. Let them be sad. Let them be sad. That's part of the process. You got to let them be sad. They got to get to the thing of being able to see, like, I can't value myself through this person's eyes when they, don't have any value for me. You got to be able to start looking around and realizing your value to the world. And this person is, just a corruption and interference or something. And my mom's like, yeah, she was saying, like, they're so mean, they're so bad, and they're so evil and stuff. And it's like, yeah, it's fucking evil, fucking a lot of dark energy there. But the thing is that, I mean, it's so much deeper how I look at things is, because, we all come here, like, the bad guys are here because they're good guys in our other lives too. It's not just that they're just bad guys. I think that's probably why sometimes it hurts even more when this person rejects us, because in our hearts, in our soul, we know we're connected. It's like this deep wound. But when the, but I said, so when this person rejects somebody, it ends up being for good. And I was like, I don't get it. I don't see how she can do anything good. And I said, yeah, but when you are being pushed by this person, and then you are able to go in and heal this stuff and overcome it, you always end up being growing. You grow from it. So any growth, you grow compassion, you grow empathy, you grow love, you grow dog drama. So you grow something inside of you that makes you, stronger, smarter, more polite, more caring. It expands you and the facets of you, the self. And so it is good in the long run. So that is where you have to acknowledge, you can look at the bad or you can look at the good. And everything is going to go full circle. And so it's the ups and the downs, it's the peaks and the valleys. When it's, you go down in a peak, then when you come up, no, when you go down in a valley, I was like, wait a minute. When you go down in the valley and you come up to peak, the peak can feel so good because you've been down in the valley and now you can see. And so that is, everything is micro, macro. Everything is a representation of everything else. And so you can just, I don't know. It just depends so much on what it is you choose to look at. That's the whole thing of like where I say, you can have the day you choose. Because you can look at this part or you can look at this part. And it's going to make things, and it every day that there is, there's people of you have certain... there's certain things, like I can just have a bunch of rush of conversations of people have said to me before, talking about a conversation that they're having, and like they're feeling really good, really excited, and then they start talking to somebody and this person's just like downer, and so that's what I'm saying. You can choose which way, and yeah, there can be things that are downer, and there's people who are just going to make sure and point them all out too, but that's how they live their life. And so, it's yeah, well, there's that. But there's also this, and I'm going to focus on this. I'm going to focus on the good stuff. You can focus on the bad stuff and see how you feel about it, because it's going to make you feel down. It's going to make you feel sad. It's going to make you feel worried. It's going to make you feel nervous and fearful. And the more that you focus on the positive, it's going to make you feel like more happy, more connected, more uplifted, you know. But you got to see that everything that happens from darkness or the negative is going to swing into something positive. But you have to, it's like you have to complete the circuit. It's like you have to go in that direction. And so that is the part, you know, where we can only try and give people direction towards themselves. Like, stay off the fucking, when you're going through something, stay off the alcohol, stay off the distractions, you know, let yourself go through things. You can go in and try and understand it in a deeper perspective and stuff. But so many things, well, I know, especially in my journey, has been about learning the value of self, learning how to have boundaries, learning how to be vulnerable, put yourself out there, you know, show your broken tooth to the world, even though it's like a few of you. But anyways, I mean, anything can, you know. So the, it is, it just is, it's all how you look at it. Like, you can sit there and, you know, it just depends on where you put your focus. It's like, where do you, I see it like a dial, yeah, like a temperature dial or something. And it's like you could just dial in where it is that you want to be. But you're putting it there. And so it's just, it's how you focus, and then, but it should happen naturally. I think that the thing is at this point in time is to just start questioning the things that happen naturally, because that's where you're going to find your patterns, and in your patterns is where you're going to find the broken parts of yourself. So the thing is like, just noticing yourself. That's, you know, that's when you become the star of self to yourself, is when you start noticing yourself. You start, yeah, I don't know, it's a change in directions of how you look at yourself, is all I can say. But it's not like you have to go from here to there. It's because it will develop. And so it develops over you, the work that comes to you, the tests. Because even after you do healing, and then each test will bring in more healing and more healing and more healing. Because each thing is, when you find a trigger in there, it's when you start having an emotional drainage point or something. And it's like, oh, there's a hole there. I need to go in and look and see what's causing this problem. Why am I feeling this way? Why am I feeling so attacked? Why am I feeling so bitter? Why am I feeling so, whatever it is? Because there's, you know, like whatever, there's so many people, and there's so many different things that people are working on. So, you know, go through a lot, but still you can't go through them all. So you have to be able to go in and look at yourself and try and, you know, understand yourself. That's the best time of reflection, which you can meditation, or however you want to look at it. But it's quiet time where you're just letting your brain talk to you. You're talking to your brain, if you want to, but your brain, your higher mind, is more of like what some people think of as God, or some people think of as your higher self. But so it's the guidance to help you, and there's tons of guidance. You've guidance of like all sorts of souls in your frequency. You have all sorts of souls that you have this whole thing going, the lineage, your ancestors. Some of them are going back in and stuff. So you have this whole thing that is with you, cheering you on, and, you know, telling you things and trying to help you. That's why you have a lot of communication going in your brain. And but it feels like it's in your brain, but your brain's an illusion. So it's really your communication through self, which there still is like, I think that's why we represent kind of like that, with a brain, having a mind, because our soul is, yeah, I see it like now with the, in these old movies. I think there was even Max Headroom or something. I don't remember if he was supposed to be an A, or if maybe he was an AI or robot guy, or maybe he was an alien. I don't remember. But in some of these old movies, it's the same thing. This says head. And so that is kind of like what we really are. Just this orb, this mind, this head, this intelligence. And the intelligence comes through the experience. And so that's why, it's kind of really like, if you went down to it, we're like a synapse of energy. We are a conscious thought. We're an experience. And so so anyways, you don't need your brain. So I don't know really what all our brain's doing. It's like, this is like a representation of an avatar in a game. But it's just this whole thing is like, all these people are caught up in their avatar, and they just think that they're the avatar. That's what's so weird. But it's like, how silent is your internal voice? Because it should be reminding you that there's more to you. And but I think that a lot of people get cut off from that, with thinking that that's crazy talk. It's like, no. So it's what's crazy is all the people that are cut off, they start, trying to figure out what has cut you off, because that's crazy. It's crazy to me how it's become so disconnected. People are so disconnected from their love, from their compassion, from their empathy. Oh my God. There's so much darkness that has to come up. It's just, oh. But also, remember when I had said that all these different things, so Donald put something out there, and it's always to show something else. And then always, as we're leading into it, the people become outraged. Oh my God. And this Alcatraz thing, that was also like the one side was like, oh, he's just, the ICE is just stealing people, stealing fathers out of their houses, stealing good. And then you got these women online, he just came in and stole my husband. And then you have these actresses saying they're hiring people for this. Like, this is a big show. And it's all to show you your moral compass. And it is kind of like to show you where you are right now. And then the lights are going to come on. And then it's going to be like, oh, are you happy with where you are? That's why it's going to be very existential crisis when the lights come on and people see. But because they are in alignment with this darkness. And so they were all freaking out that he's going in, he's building up the gate, he's sending them to, I don't know, Colombia or something, and now he's gonna open the Alcatraz back up. Which I was thinking, well, I mean, it must be getting a lot of criminals, but I don't know, maybe, because I don't know, we're not going to be just taking care of criminals. So, I don't know, they're gonna do more of like a rehab kind of thing, because a lot of the criminals, if you're a criminal out of desperation, or if you're a criminal because you just like to hurt people, that will make a difference. And but I don't see us having tons of full prisons, and that's gonna, no, it's not gonna go like that. So I don't know. I don't know, because there's people right now, they're going through courts and stuff because there's people out there just doing crazy shit. So I don't know how it's going to go, like, because they're going to do more with vibration stuff. There's even a thing about the med beds. It reads your vibration. You have to be a certain vibration to even be able to go in it or something. So anyways, all the people were freaking out, like, oh my God, I can't believe it, he's gonna do that. Here we go on the news. Oh, well, in going and looking in Alcatraz, guess what we found? There's tunnels. Right at the day after, 2 days after it's all come out, oh, this tunnel theory, it wasn't a conspiracy after all, was it? No, Bush was down there building it's all this stuff. So now they've got the tunnels going into the fucking prison. Like, oh my God. I know there was tunnels like remember when I was talking about the mental facilities here, Eastern and Western, when I had gone to Eastern for something, maybe it was rotation in nursing school or something, because there was something more when I was there than just seeing a patient, I swear. But because there was something about the tunnels, and this person who I was walking with, they were telling me about the tunnels, and that they use them, like if they got to go to take this person over to this place or whatever, they go down and go through the tunnels. I was like, weird. So there's tunnels, and this was way before. I mean, I was in nursing at this point, so this was long while before I knew all this weird shit in this fucking weirdo world. Hold on, my nose, man. It's like gum, like tickling. My nose is really gummy, like the snotted gummy, like sticky or something, you know. It's not like dripping like it was, but it is tickling. It's like my nose keeps tickling. It's driving me crazy. So anyways, so whatever, who knows what all is going to be coming through with all this stuff being exposed, but it's all to expose us to the truth, because there's not these, you know, us conspiracy theorists weren't, we were talking about things that we had seen and stuff, and seen before all this stuff. So is when I did start seeing about that tunnels. When was it? I know when I saw that Jordan Peele movie, and I saw that, and they had all it was like another version of us underground, then I was like, that's fucking true. That's true. It's just like certain things that I can see in movies, and I'm always like, that's true. That's true. And then I'll start telling people, no, that's true. And they'll be like, oh my God. They always think I'm so wacky, but in my internal thing, in my discernment, it's like, no, I know that's true. But then it was, I think it was, it seems like I was in 2020, but I keep thinking, was there more? Because I know I started talking about conspiracy things going on in 20, I was talking about this guy, but I keep thinking, was I talking about the Rockefellers and stuff? When did I hear about those things? But anyways, it was a few years ago that I heard of them, and I started telling people, and then they were like, oh, that's not true, that's not true. And then they put them right out there in people's faces. And Stranger Things, Men in Black, it was always being shown. I think even when I saw Men in Black, I was like, that's fucking true. And that was a long ass time ago. But all the time, I would always be these really wacky things like that. Men in Black, everybody's like, oh no, that's a movie. I'm like, no, that's true. I knew when I saw that movie that was true. There was so many that I knew that there was truth about them, that it wasn't phony or fake. I knew there was fucking vampires and fucking werewolves and shit. I knew that, you know, and then people are like, no, that's made up. No, it's not. And all the shit, fairies, all of the different things and stuff, it's all real. It's like you have to be accepting of it to see it, or to, I don't know, it's like you cut yourself off from the stuff by not acknowledging it. Oh, that can't be real. So you limit yourself in what you see, so you can't see it. But it's like you cut yourself off from the magic. So it's like you gotta open your mind more and not be so resistant. And so many people are so resistant. They want is like a desperation to keep things the same. When people come in and, in comments and stuff on TikTok and say, oh, that's just this, that's just that, I'm always like, you got to start opening your mind. You got to start looking deeper, you know? And I was even thinking, I don't know if I already said that on here, but I was even thinking, I wonder if that rumbling could be craft or something. Because I was thinking it could be a being, but like any being can be a shapeshifter, just like we can. We could be shapeshifters, but we hold on to this concept of self through this imagery in this game. So this is what we believe we are. Well, most people believe this is what they are. I believe I'm what's inside of this. I believe I'm the light inside. And that's the thing that some of us who believe that we're the light inside, we crave to be seen for the light inside. And then so many people are just stuck on the avatar. And that is the superficial, the shallow, the part that doesn't really matter. It's just your game piece. It's like when you go pick your Monopoly guy, like everybody who plays Monopoly be like, oh, well, I want the bat. Everybody has got their favorite guy that they want to play Monopoly. And I'm sure in all these gaming things, people have their favorite avatars and stuff. But does it really change the game? If you have to have the little car instead of the little guy, does it change your game? No. It could change your attitude towards it. Then you're like, oh, see, I would have done better if I would have had the other piece. But that's, that's how you kind of got to think about this game too. You're just playing this game. This is your avatar. You can, that's one thing too, is like you can take your little avatar and you can dress it up. You can, do your hair the way you want to do it. Like Pamela Anderson, she's gone in with a new hairdo. And it's, some people love it, some people hate it. I don't know. When I looked at her, I kept thinking, man, this alien look is really coming back. Like, we're going to have a lot of people are going to look a lot more, like, different. And just kind of, I don't know, just kind of different. Especially she looks different than what she did. But the whole look especially her dress, her gown and all that, and her hair and stuff, I was just like, I don't know, she looks kind of like the Queen of Venus coming to the thing or something, It's like, but, everybody gets to pick their own look. Like, we gotta stop following trends. Who cares about trends? That's all they want is to follow trends. So we're shoving money out the fucking door. But you just gotta find, what you like best. Man, my stomach is growling and growling. What do you like best? What kind of, because I was even thinking about this with clothes. Like you can wear something and then people are like, oh, I love that. Oh, I want that same thing. And they don't have the same body. And then they put it on and then they're like, God, I hate my body. When it should be like, no, go find the clothes that look really good on you. And then you'll be like, fuck, man, I look good. But it's that you got to find what looks good on you. Just because something looks good on somebody else, that doesn't mean it's just, that particular dress or whatever. It's like that style just suits their body. Well, there's lots of other styles out there. We just get caught up in, well, is it in style? If it's not in style, I just can't do it. It's like, well, then, I guess it looks just silly sometimes. It's like, or you can just go find stuff that really looks good on you, and then you go out, and people are like, dang, I really love that. And it doesn't have to be, I've seen girls that are very heavy set wearing super cute things, where it's just like, oh my God, that is cute. That is such a cute little, like her little, her little avatar. She's got a little hair. She's got a little outfit on and stuff. It's like, oh, she's a little cutie. So it's not like, you can only be thin and have cute clothes. No, you can be all sorts of body styles. You can be super busty and find things that look good. Most of the women, they'll just want like the cleavage thing and stuff. But I think, I don't know. I'm not comfortable with the cleavage thing. I hate it. I swear to God, I can't even tell you how happy I am to be back to being And I wouldn't even say flat-chested because I feel like I've got more boobs still than I would be okay with flat-chested. But but I'm so happy to be back to small. Oh my God, I cannot stand having big boobs. Like, oh my God, the girls who have them, I don't even know how you can deal with it. They're heavy. Man, my neck and my shoulders would hurt all the time. And they're uncomfortable, especially when you have fake ones. Then they're like, there's a rock inside of you. You try and turn, and so this fucking rock, it's pushing. It's horrible. And then one thing too is like, as you age, your cleavage just gets bigger and bigger. Like, I don't know what happens with boobs, but they just get bigger and bigger. And so you go and get boobs put in, and when you're younger, and then as you get older, they just start, getting bigger. I'm just so glad that I don't have them, and I don't like the cleavage thing. I don't like going out and then, some girls get off on that. Some guys looking down at her cleavage, talking to her, looking at her boobs. Some girls like that, like, oh, see, I'm so desirable. That's an insecurity. That's a devaluing yourself, in my opinion. But, whatever. Like, I don't know this person's stuff, and you are the person who has to figure it out for yourself. Is this a toxic thing? Am I trying to get somebody to, am I looking for approval in somebody else? Am I minimizing myself to my boobs because I get attention from my boobs? That's, each person has to figure shit out for themselves. To me, I didn't like it. But then also, I was a kid who was sexually abused from, so I didn't like people over sexualizing me in that way. Because it wasn't just, I was a long period, lot of people. So it was a lot of inappropriate men and stuff like that. So, anyways, now, I don't want to just be looked at like that. I don't want somebody just looking at my boobs and that's all I am. Just even, looking at your face and thinking that's all you are. Looking at your butt thinking that's all you are. It's like, no, I'm what's inside. I don't really care about, I do care about the outside because that's where you got to take care of yourself. You got to love yourself, and you got to, represent. You got to put yourself out there, and you can tell. Like, when you go around a group of people, you can look around and tell who cares about themselves and who doesn't. And you can also tell the ones that are fake and phony. Like, they care about themselves to get other people to care about them. I think that it is I don't know, it seems like it would be very few people who truly just care about themselves, but that's the wave that's coming in. And that is where the wave is still where people are more in isolation. And so, but we're going to have a flood of people who are going to care about themselves, that are going to start being around everybody all the time. And that's going to be, change the current, where the current's going to start going. But it still is like everybody's inside of their cocoon. And then it's going to be the season of whatever is going to come. It's going to all of a sudden, everybody's going to come out of their cocoon, and it's going to be all these people that are looking good, feeling good, happy with themselves, loving. It's going to be like a much more pleasant place to be than right now, where it seems like, so many people think it's the end of the world. And I see it's the end. It's just this end that is so necessary to bring us into something so great, and it's going to be so good. Yeah, it's like the cocoon is going out. It went in the cocoon in the darkest, horrible place, and then you're going to come out of your cocoon, and it's going to be the new place. It's going to be like a new world. It's going to be like, that's the wave that's going to create the new world. So it's I don't know. I would like it to all go faster, but development takes time. And then Donald, he's, dangling a carrot right now too. He's about to make a big announcement. So many of the announcements, oh, so we're bringing, we got a new car place opening up in Indiana or something. It could be something like that. Hopefully it's going to be something that really is impactful and really is like what we want to hear, but he does bring in the attention every time. I've got a big announcement coming. He's either going to announce it today or tomorrow, maybe Friday, but could be Monday. It's like, well, hopefully it's today. Hopefully it's big. Hopefully it's like, just send us out some checks or something. I think we'd all be happy with that. Then maybe we'd start getting more attention. And who knows, like, I know that there's people who are talking about the tunnels and stuff, and this is going to definitely add to the conversation now with this new one. So, and it's all going to be, because also Diddy's thing started, which is real crazy now. Mike Myers, like, that's somebody you wouldn't have thought of, like, would be at one of those parties, I guess. But who knows, is he going to be somebody who's telling on the things he saw, or is he going to be being told on for the things he did? That all remains to be seen. I think LeBron, but I think most everybody saw that coming. Yeah, LeBron, he's fucking, yeah, I don't know. He's definitely a freak out. He's the best parties are Diddy's parties. So anyways, they're picking the jury, and there's a whole bunch of stuff coming out, and people are all talking about it. So that's going to be, and then that ChatGPT said that's a part of the big distraction, is all of these different things, these celebrity trials, celebrity relationships, and all that is part of the distraction to pull you from the, where you should be focusing, because you should be focusing on yourself. You should be focusing on your healing and taking care of yourself, because that's where you're going to get a benefit. And so the I was thinking, did I do my hair? I was thinking I did pull it back, but then I think I started talking about something else. And so I'll show that better. It seems like there was something else. I definitely, if I don't do the black seed oil, I can definitely, that has helped my eyes a lot. But I kept feeling like I had this mucus cover over my eyes. I felt like I was trying to look through Vaseline all the time. And so the black seed oil dries up the mucus. And so, but I've been doing that every day for a while. It wasn't helping my lungs with the coughing. So now, though, I do it every day. If I don't do it, I could do it twice a day, even, I bet you. But it definitely has helped my eyes. And now there's I don't know, my mom's friends like, well, what does Kelly do about this? What does she say with this? Well, what does she do with this? And so find out what she's taking for her eyes and stuff. So because it's real. Aging isn't. Aging was made up. Aging is a side effect of being poisoned, and we've been doing it for far too long at this point. And so now it's our time to see, and you got to do all this detoxing, and you got to do a cleanse, because yeah, they're hitting us hard with all that, and it can be microscopic, and apparently it can be full size. I mean, I don't know if that's also true, or more of the misinformation of some morgue person saying that we're full of worms and shit. I do totally believe, though, the morgue person, the gravedigger, I totally believe that. I think they would probably even switch out some of the, they sell you some $10,000, like, who fucking need, give me a goddamn wooden crate, just throw my body out there in a hole under a tree, I'm good. I used to want to be cremated. Now it's like, that's fucking dark. Like, and then I was like, okay, just put me on a boat, I want a Viking burial, and then just shoot some fire arrows and let my boat burn up, and then that's good. But now I'm to the point of, no, just dig a hole next to a tree and put my body in that hole, and I don't need a box. I need to become, let my earth go back into, or let my body go back into the earth, into organic material, to become a part of the thing. But anyways, and I had seen that, and it was a show that I loved, 6 Feet Under. God, I love that show. But in that show, that was I think one of the girls wanted that, or she was trying to fight for getting that or something. And I also saw it in another show too. So it's not like I just made it up or just created that in my own. I just saw it and I was like, yeah, man. When I very first saw it, like in 6 Feet Under, I was like, ooh, that's kind of weird. That's kind of creepy. But now I'm such a different way of thinking now. It's like, yeah, I just want to hold, just put me out there. But anyways, they're going to sell you $10,000 caskets and burial plots that, yeah, I think the whole thing is shenanigans. I think it's all fucking bullshit. And I'm sure they probably just use the same casket over and over and over. And they take the people and put them in some kind of shell of a casket, like it doesn't have all the fancy stuff in there or something. I don't know. Because sometimes they take the bodies and they move them so fast from when you go to a funeral and the person's laying up there, everybody's sad and you listen to all the stuff, and then they take the body. I'm pretty sure they take it through the back door. Pretty sure they don't walk out through you and the people carry it. They take it through the back door and they take it back to the, what is that thing called? The big long car thing. Can't think of what it's called. There's a special car that moves the caskets, so they have to go through the back door. Would be real easy, even though I swear to God, it's only the workers who take it from that point. I don't think the people take it from right there. I don't know. There's some places, there's probably is some people that are really buried there, but there's definitely some people who are selling the bodies. And that's in the movies too. Fuck, man. That's in the fucking old movies with Frankenstein. It was constant grave digging, and the scientists wanted the bodies constantly. They were paying the grave diggers to go out. The grave diggers weren't doing. There was grave diggers that also did go and to get jewelry, but they didn't steal the bodies. They just stole the jewelry, whatever the people were buried with. But I think it became bigger money for the scientists. Were paying them to go out and dig them up and bring them because they wanted them. But then they even, everything is just so creepy and dark and weird here. And I don't know, I was really thinking about the food thing again, and all the people eating meat and thinking, what are they really eating? And they're just slaughtering all these dogs and stuff. And I was thinking, man, my stomach's just growling like crazy. Talking about eating people, like, I was just growling before that. But eating the dogs, and because I'd seen a thing made where they were talking about how they make bacon, and it's not made from pigs, it's made from dog. And then, it's so gross. Then and then that always makes me feel weird when I start thinking that's so gross, because it's gross, all of it. It's just as gross like it's pig, or if it's a chicken, or if it's any of it. It's just, oh yeah, and this is disturbing. Like, this is how weird that we have in our society. Most of the people, everybody's talking about it, are disturbed by it. But we have these people who, they're part of the poll to get us to all, reevaluate our moral compass or something. But this fucking woman who got some crabs, got live crabs, and then she decided to air fry them. People are just like, oh my fucking God. And she has a glass air fryer, so she videotaped the whole thing. That is so fucking warped. And she was laughing. I was like, how do you laugh that something is having pain? You got to completely devalue it. To think it has no pain, it has no consciousness, it has no understanding, it has no fear. It's like, and that to me is like a karmic lesson. Like, you do shit like that, karma is going to come back around. Like, that's the kind of stuff I think that comes back on you. And because you're not learning, like, you have no compassion. And I don't know, the lessons can come in quite an assortment. So, but that is also where you need to look at yourself and the lessons that are happening around you, because it can have associated It can be associated to your karma, the things that you've done, the things are playing out in certain ways. And so everything happening, everything that happens to you is, you got to have time to look at it deeper. You got to have time to think about it. The worst thing you can do is run from it and hide from it. This is just going to come in stronger and stronger, pounding on the door. The more that you can look at it, I mean, if we were, I think more as time goes, future generations, they won't have all this trouble with healing and stuff, because they'll be like, something will happen and they'll immediately be able to do it. Because you can start doing that, immediately start, that's what I do now. Something happens, I just immediately go into, I'm going to process this, how do I feel? And I take my time and I don't react. I don't just react to everything. And that's the lower chakra, is reactive. It's a reaction center of just automatic. You have your automatic reaction. This happens, that goes. You just have your automatic things that you do because you're just set and you're running a program. That's why you got to catch yourself. Start noticing, what is the program I'm running? Why am I reacting this way? What am I doing? Why am I thinking this way? What is causing this? Where's this coming from? And that's when you get a handle on yourself. And you can start managing yourself and you can start living better. You don't have to go through these little fights with people because, they've had a bad day, so I'm going to react to it. It's like, you have your own bad day. I'm going to go over here and enjoy mine. And so then that's where you use your boundaries. That's where you put yourself out there. No, that's your business. I got my own. And so it is, and the people who you have to have boundaries with are always going to be the most difficult relationship. That's what they're there for, is to help you to overcome, to teach you. If it was all like easy things, if it was easy street, what would you really get out of it? What would you really learn? How would you really evolve? Would you really change if everything was easy? So it's got to be more of more complex or more challenging. But you have the abilities, and you have the ability to slow down and notice yourself, to check yourself, to reevaluate yourself, to not get caught up in everybody else's bullshit, and to, and you can feel like, well, they're saying this stuff, I'm not starting it, they are. But that's their problem. You don't have to react to it. You don't have to be like, well, you can't say that about me. You can't do that. You can't say that. They can think whatever the fuck they want. You don't have to, you don't have to orbit around their thoughts. You don't have to involve yourself in their thoughts. That's their fucking problem. And you'll start noticing that the people that are the most hateful, they're hateful to everybody. So that's their issue. That's why, and the more that we all cut off their hatefulness, the more that they're going to be just drowning in their own hate until they go and start managing themselves. But all of that stuff is lower chakra. It is all where people keep themselves trapped in their pain and the suffering. And it's where you want to get out of it. And that's where you can manage yourself. So it is possible. I did it. And I was a mess for a long time. So, you can, don't feel like, well, I'm too broken and I've got this diagnosis and this diagnosis. Well, I've also got this. I say, let go of your diagnosis. Go in and look at what are the things, how did you get diagnosed? Because of this, because of this, because of this. So those things, your characteristics that you think are negative, start working on them. Get rid of the diagnosis, defeat it, work on the shit that is the recipe, and you go and fix those things, and suddenly you don't have that disorder. And 100% get off of their fucking all their, what they've got to save you, because none of it is going to save you. It's a distraction. It was just like, what was that I was saying yesterday? Was you get something and you, what was that? Oh, because I was talking about the Botox, and when she was asking me about, they want to know what I'm doing for my eyes and stuff, and I was like trying to really clarify, my eyes were very, the things going on in my eyes were very unique. to what other people have going on. But this is what I did. And so anyways, talking about the Botox. And she said, well, why did you even get it? And I said, because these frown lines. And I said, but what I should have been doing is trying to figure out why I had the frown lines. What was making me so unhappy? Because I was miserable. I was miserable in my job, miserable in my marriage. And at some point, I got out of the marriage, but I was still miserable in my job. Like, I was just like, wasn't living my truth. And so I was frowning all the time. I had these frown lines. And then, instead of dealing with that in life, what I should have been doing, go down and get some Botox put in there. Confirmation, holding on to the confirmation, which I do want to say this is kind of weird, but in any evacuation, like anytime your body's evacuating, it always feels good. Like, oh God, what a release. Oh, I feel so good. And I was thinking, and I keep thinking about this and thinking about that, because that is the same for an emotional release. It's just like letting go of it. Just letting go. It's just such a release. It's just an evacuation of energy. And so, anyways, it is necessary to move you out of that lower chakra, because that is where when you're just reactive and stuff and you're on autopilot, is when you're not really thinking things through. And there's so many things you can think through and heal, but then, they give you the little magic pill, they give you all this stuff to distract you. But anyways, this is a time when you're going to be uncomfortable. You're going to keep being uncomfortable until you start going in the right direction. And as far as I'm concerned, the right direction is learning how to love yourself, learning how to love everybody, and how to have the day that you want. So anyways, we'll talk about it again tomorrow. So talk to you later. Bye.